On tonight's CTV News, the Phillipstown community refuses to give up the fight, the Ferrymead community welcomes back their supermarket, and communities at risk of sea level rise may have to leave their homes. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Hundreds of Cantabrians needing state housing are no closer to having a home for winter, with Housing New Zealand's waiting list still climbing. Despite government promises for action to help those in need, the Priority A waiting list has grown by almost 100 families since December last year.
Priority A means applicants are in severe and immediate need of state housing, with many living in cars, garages or overcrowded homes while awaiting assistance. As of last month, Housing New Zealand had 495 people on its Christchurch waiting list, with more than half deemed Priority A. Housing New Zealand's Southern Regional Manager Simone Leggett says staff are working closely with applicants and assessing their needs and will sometimes look at options outside Christchurch where appropriate. 6 families have recently been rehoused in Ashburton, along with 6 in Timaru, 1 in Oamaru, 8 in Dunedin and 4 in Invercargill. Simone Leggett says Housing New Zealand isn't an emergency housing provider, but works closely with those who provide such accommodation. The company has 342 new properties contracted or under construction in Christchurch and has returned 270 quake-damaged homes back to the letting pool. All the repaired homes have already been let to applicants from the waiting list. Housing Minister Nick Smith promised central government would take action when the Priority A list reached 175 in December 2013. Back then, Mr Smith said fast-tracking consents and adding 700 homes to Housing New Zealand's stock would help, and he planned to explore the option of building 2 more temporary accommodation villages in the city. Tenants Protection Association manager Helen Gaetoni says it's important to understand the applicants aren't individuals.
There was 495 applicants on the waiting list in Christchurch with families. It's not just one single unit here, we're talking about family units, so that's a lot of people waiting to get into housing.
A University of Canterbury researcher says it may be necessary to abandon areas in Christchurch under threat from the effects of sea level rise.
The warning comes after last month's storm flooded parts of the city. University of Canterbury Coastal Science lecturer Dr Deidre Hart told the Christchurch Press retreating from some parts of the city would be the best way to prevent against further flooding disasters. These places would include the lower Avon and Heathcote River. Due to the sea level rise, Hart believes the floods will become more common and widespread. Because Christchurch City is low-lying, Hart says it needs to drain water out to the sea, but when the levels rise, it doesn't work as well. The earthquakes in 2011 caused land to drop by up to half a metre. Scientists are now predicting water levels will rise 1 metre over the next 100 years. Hart told the Press temporary measures like seawalls, channels, stop banks and pumps were not the answer to the problem. She says retreating is a painful option, but one that can't be avoided. She believes the situation will be made worse otherwise.
After an 18-month battle to save their school, the Phillipstown community is not giving up. Yesterday, Education Minister Hekia Parata confirmed plans to merge the school on the site of Woolston School. Parents, students and teachers aren't about to give up on the fight to hold on to their school.
Phillipstown School is preparing to take the Education Ministry back to court. Ministry officials have announced plans to merge both Woolston and Phillipstown schools. Education Minister Hekia Parata delivered the news to local media following yesterday's announcement. The merger will continue as planned, but won't take place until the start of next year. To get to this point, it's taken 18 months since the minister's original proposal. A successful judicial review in November found the minister's original decision was unlawful. Instead of appealing the decision, the minister decided to restart the proposal round. After seeking legal advice, Phillipstown's Board of Trustees have decided to continue the fight. Lawyer Mai Chen has already contacted Crown Law in an effort to cease any merger action before it could take the matter to the High Court. At yesterday's media briefing, the minister told media she would be disappointed if the decision was legally challenged. Her argument for the merger is that there's a surplus of primary places in the local area. She argues Phillipstown's role was small. The school's principal has told the Press at times he felt forced and bullied during the merger process. He hopes the Education Ministry will learn from the experience and no school will have to go through a similar thing. The $11 million investment for the new school would provide opportunities for the children. The Labour Party's announced that if voted into power at this year's election, it will allow Phillipstown School to stay open.
Christchurch's Cathedral Square may soon resemble New York's Times Square after a City Council discussion yesterday. Councillor Jamie Goff told the District Plan Review Workshop Christchurch City Council should look at allowing businesses within the 4 avenues to billboard the side of their buildings.
Councillor Jamie Goff says it's worth exploring ideas which could help businesses prosper without costing the council more money. Councillor Goff says because it's cheaper, many businesses are developing outside the city. He believes being able to incorporate outdoor advertising through billboards or multimedia opens up another revenue stream, while adding a vibrancy and buzz, which is inappropriate in the suburbs. Jamie Goff says businesses are motivated by the bottom line, and while cutting cost of construction is a good incentive for development, it's not something the council can control. He says billboards could help offset the cost to even the balance between cheaper outskirt developments and financially challenging central city projects. Mr. Goff says it's about enabling more things to be done, rather than growing the list of things that can't be done. The council recently came under fire as the draft district plan now bans new office, retail and hospitality buildings from light industrial zones. This effectively stops central city businesses leaving by stopping commercial growth in the suburbs. This effectively halts construction in parts of Addington, Lincoln Road, Blenheim Road and much of Morehouse Avenue.
Questions are being raised around the efficiency of repairs being made in the city, with planned upgrades being undertaken separately to repair work.
Repairs being undertaken in Christchurch are ignoring plans to upgrade. The Christchurch Central Development Unit, working on renewing the city, is based on the Share an Idea campaign. Their plans for the city following the February earthquakes were to make upgrades as repairs were being undertaken. Part of this was upgrading Salisbury Street from one-way to two-way traffic, as well as adding cycle lanes, vegetation and eco-friendly stormwater systems. But this hasn't been the case. The stronger Christchurch infrastructure repair team are returning the street to the same condition and making the upgrades later. Locals are worried the plans for the upgrades will be abandoned altogether. And the Hagley Ferry Mead Community Board unanimously decided to pass their concerns over the situation onto the Christchurch City Council. They're hoping to clarify how the transport plan and repairs are being aligned. Sarah Templeton, who is chairwoman of the Community Board, believes work being done on the same area twice is disruptive.
A local supermarket has reopened for the Ferrymead community, creating over 100 new jobs in the area. Emma Cropper was at the opening to see how the locals were enjoying the new supermarket.
Eager locals braved the cold this morning, waiting to be the first to walk through the doors of Ferrymead's new countdown.
It's nice to get my local back close to home again.
The new store is state-of-the-art and the first to have an in-store pharmacy in the South Island. And the customers were pleased to see the doors back open.
Oh, it's wonderful for the whole district. You know, we've been lacking something like this for a long time, and it was a really good supermarket beforehand, and yeah, it should be great for the area. It should be a real lift to everybody, I think.
Oh, it's brilliant. Have another supermarket around, gives us more selection, so it's great.
The supermarket has been a double bonus for the community. Being larger than the previous store, it's generated over 100 extra jobs for locals, as well as filling a missing gap for local shoppers.
The store's looking really good, and looking forward to getting customers through back into the local supermarkets.
And I think that we probably don't appreciate how important things like this are until they're not there. We just kind of take them for granted. And then when they're not there, we realise just how important they were in our everyday lives.
Pam Anand has been working at Countdown for almost 3 decades and has seen the store close on the day of the earthquake through to reopening today.
It's been really great to think that they have been able to rebuild another store on site in Ferrymead, which, as Hayley has said, will be great for the community. Just nice to be back.
Back home.
Back home.
The reopening hasn't been seamless, however. The contractor in charge of laying the supermarket's car park ripped it back up into a pile of rubble as a protest for not being paid. He's since been charged for the bill to repair it, and the council has come to the store's rescue.
Thanks to City Care for their work that they did. They were here until 3 a.m. this morning. laying asphalt, and it was raining, so we've got half a car park, so that's they've done a fantastic job.
The opening of the Ferrymead Countdown is the last piece of the puzzle for the business, with all the earthquake repairs on Christchurch supermarkets completed. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
And coming up, trainee police dogs were put on trial today.
Be watching CTV News first at 5 and you could win up to $5,000 every week with CTV's cash giveaways. For more information, visit our website and be watching CTV News first at 5.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom, 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Ferrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make a dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Ferrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Potholes. To some, a simple hole in the ground, causing no harm and no concern. But don't let that fool you. Potholes are dangerous. Did you know potholes have been linked to numerous nasty falls and flat tires? So if you have a pothole situation on your property, don't panic. Call the Pothole Repair Company. They'll fix your potholes in a jiffy. So next time you see a pothole on your driveway or in your car park, call the Pothole Repair Company.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company. Oi!
Join me tonight as I talk to the influential people in and around Canterbury and take a look at what's going on in our community. Tonight at 10, Canterbury Live.
Does Canterbury have the best police dogs in New Zealand? Trials have been underway all day to put the canine recruits through their paces.
It's a tough competition.
As soon as number one has gone from the hill work and going towards me in the distance control, we need the next guy heading across to start the hill work.
7 dog teams from Canterbury, Tasman and the southern districts are being put through their paces, all part of the South Island Police Dog Trials, where the teams are vying to take out the national title.
It is very competitive, as much as they'll joke around and say it's not, but for every exercise that they go to, they are trying to be top dog, if you know what I'm saying.
4.5-year-old Blaze isn't new to the competition. He's defending a 2-year reign as champion. But each year is different, and his handler, Constable Gary Donnelly, is keeping cool under the pressure.
Well, going okay so far. He's done really well, but you never know because they don't tell you the marks to the end, so you don't know how everyone else is going. But no, he's been doing really well so far.
When he's not competing, Blaze works as one of the South Island's top police dogs.
No, he just works general duties around Christchurch, finding lost people, finding people that run away, violent offenders, and just general work.
But when he began, Blaze was thrown in the deep end. His first day on the job was the same day as the February earthquake.
Roles in the red zone and chasing burglars and finding people. That was actually that was his first day operational, was with the earthquake. So we needed more dogs working, and they said he was due to get graduated, so they said we'll test him. Tested him, he passed, and he was working that night.
But the earthquakes have impacted the police dogs' training in Christchurch, being able to utilise the city's worst affected areas.
People won't say lucky that we have red zone areas, but you know, for us, for training, and our guys are catching a lot of burglars, etc., in the red zone, and we do a lot of training in those areas. So it's it's helped us out, and it's helped us probably have a better product out there operationally.
The dogs are tested on their ability to listen to commands and perform under pressure in typical policing scenarios. The top 3 from today's trial will head off to the Police Dog Nationals in May. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The Gap Filler team have created a quirky shop in Cathedral Junction, a shop which changes once a week and isn't seeking a profit. Emma Cropper visited the Inconvenience store to see who's in there this week.
They're 1 week, gone the next. The Inconvenience store changes hands every 7 days. This week, an overseas artist has taken over the place, lining the walls with paintings of the Christchurch city centre.
I've been wanting to find a way to, talk about how Christchurch is. There is still beauty available in unexpected places.
Visitors are asked to vote for the top 5 paintings, and if Julia Holden can raise $5,000, the winning paintings will appear on Auckland billboards. But what's the inconvenience to the store?
And it's also extremely inconvenient and difficult for artists to find places to show work these days. So this was an opportunity to both introduce people to this idea.
And many of the paintings are history, capturing much of the city before it's demolished.
This view here is this blue building that I really loved. And behind it is the Capitol Theatre. 2 days ago, this blue building got demolished, and I believe that the Capitol Theatre is also going to go. So, again, this is now a piece of history.
It's not just paintings on display in the space. Writer Andrew Wood is typing the experiences of those who walk through the doors onto a large projection screen.
Basically, it's just what I normally do as a writer, but making it a kind of a public event and trying to run it. By putting it on the screen, it's less of a private thing about looking at me doing something I normally do in private where no one can see me, and making it more of a performance.
The store is part of the Gap Filler initiative to fill the desolate gaps the earthquakes made in the city centre.
We thought we'd try to explore the opposite alternative, rather than making the central city more like the shopping malls, to try to explore in a cheeky way, kind of inconvenience and what that might be and what that might develop into or mean for the city.
The Inconvenience store is just temporary, but dabbles in a bit of fun and creativity, often not seen in retailers.
All of these, I think, are just gestures to get people thinking a bit more and not taking for granted that the normal way we do things is inherently the right way.
Present tense will be in the store until Tuesday, when the next creative team takes over for the next 7 days. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Still to come, the business, traffic and weather updates.
Kickoff is pure Bundesliga soccer, the real thing, featuring all the games, all the goals, every week. Kickoff, Sunday 12 noon, right here on CTV.
Are you looking for more from your local channel? CTV are online. Our latest listings, on-demand shows, program information, all on the CTV website. We'll see you there.
The Home Show Spa Pool sale is on. Hi, Mike from Four Seasons. Save $2,000 on Spa Pool 947 with all the features. Spas from just $5,499 with savings up to $4,000. Home Show sale on now at Four Seasons Home and Leisure, Tower Junction Mega Centre.
3799799. Remember the nights. Go Blue Star.
Our new companion package is a personalised service for those that need extra help and support. A cost-effective solution for someone who needs more than just a taxi driver. Our drivers are handpicked from our experienced team and specialise in providing the right support and companionship. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Action Removals, offering short or long-term storage facilities, full packing services, comprehensive rates, all fully insured and with 6 vehicle sizes to choose from. Earthquake repairs? Action Removals pack, move, store and return your valuable possessions stress-free. Action Removals, a family business that has been operating in Christchurch for over 10 years. Action Removals, your one-stop removal service on time, every time. 0800 222 526.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference More Mobility makes.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Well, it's Thursday, so that means it's time for Warren Head with this week's business news.
I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. Last couple of days I bailed out of Christchurch and went up to Auckland. Well, I've got to say the weather was around about 15 degrees better and the traffic was really flowing quite smoothly. Now back here in Christchurch, of course, we've had severe disruption on the one-way street system and all the way far out as Rangiora and getting worse. Quite clearly 4 lanes into 2 simply doesn't go, and it seems to me that it's quite intolerable that the edge of the city should put up with lack of further 4 laning for at least another 2 or 3 years, according to the current plan. And the City Council should really, in my view, now take a stand and commission an independent report on what the effects of the transport model is on the retail sector, where so many people in this city are employed, and I was going to say pity them at the moment, in trying to get customers across the threshold. So who is actually doing any good in this environment? Well, takeaway food seems to be moving along quite nicely. This week we had the restaurant brands result out for the full year, and the interesting thing there was that pizza is big, and Pizza Hut really went quite well for that period. And Starbucks had a really strong performance as well, up about 19%. People are drinking more coffee, and in my view, Christchurch seems quite addicted to this stuff. I had a quick count up and I got to 185 coffee houses that I could identify, and I think actually there's probably more like 220, another 5 opening, it seems, almost every week. So there's money in coffee. And one of the guys I was interested in following through into Auckland was the chap who's doing Cook's Food Group, which is in the coffee house business. And he assures me that that's the way it's going internationally as well. Coffee is hot everywhere around the globe, and particularly here. Now, what isn't hot was the Postie Plus report for the half year to the 2nd of February. The gross profit fell. The sales were down as well for that 6 months period, not surprising because they had that big supply chain hiccup last year. Simply by that I mean they moved product into a new distribution point in Auckland. All the stuff going north out of Christchurch met all the imports coming in from Asia, and it became quite chaotic at some particular point. I note that in the statement they made this week, they say that they have separated with their previous supplier in this particular area and are now going to a new provider, and one can only hope that this one is a lot better planned than the last, which has been very costly for that company. A former Christchurch business that is almost virtually withdrawn now out of Christchurch, apart from the stores, the Postie Plus stores continuing in the city. And the other retailer in the news this week was Michael Hill International. Now, Sir Michael Hill knows how to turn a dollar, and he's done extremely well in the 9 months period. And in the home market, sales on the same store basis for New Zealand were up 10%. Now, boy, that's got to be really good going in anyone's terms. So if anybody knows how to get the customers across the threshold, it's Michael Hill. And there, I'll just note that you usually find him in a shopping mall where you don't have to trip across the potholes or the damn cones on the way in, if you can find a place to park anywhere nearby. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's an update on what's happening with the roads. Chilm Street is one way between Barbados and Fitzgerald Avenue, with all traffic flowing east. It's a great exit route to get to Fitzgerald Avenue during those peak hours. The pinch point at the Barbados Street and St Asaph intersection, where this is down to one lane, is still leading to delays. Please allow extra time when travelling in the morning and evening drives. Durham Street south from St Asaph Street to Morehouse Avenue has works in the centre of the road, but traffic is being maintained into 2 lanes through here. Stay tuned this week for more updates on what's happening with those central city roads, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And remember that updates do screen on CTV at 7, 8 and 9 a.m. in the morning, and also at 12 midday. And finally tonight, your regional weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. How was the weather in your area? Let's take a look. First up in South Canterbury, Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine had the high of the region on 15. Moving along to Ashburton and Methven, slightly cooler on 14. Hope you've had a wonderful day, Rakaya, 14. Darfield, Leeston and Ralston, you're the same on 14. And in Lincoln and Christchurch, hope you've been keeping warm, 14 today. Taking a look over in the Banks Peninsula, Akaroa, 14. Let's take a look at North Canterbury, Rangiora and Kaipoi. Not much change from the rest of the region, 14. And heading further north to Amberley, 14 degrees. Up the top in Culverden and Hanna Springs, and as well in Cheviot, a mild day of 14. And up the very top in Kaikoura, 14 as well. But what about tomorrow? First up in Timaru, low cloud at first, breaking with sunny periods increasing during the afternoon, and light northeasterly winds. Tonight's low 9, tomorrow's high 17. And in Ashburton, a dull start for your Friday, but sunny breaks increasing during the day as winds tend to northeasterly. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 17. Christchurch, a mostly cloudy Friday in store, but it does get better. Cloud may break a little during the afternoon. Tonight's low 8, and tomorrow you can expect a high of 16. And in Kaikoura, mostly cloudy and cool with morning drizzle clearing. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 14. It's looking better tomorrow, Temuka and Geraldine, cloudy for most parts of the day with a high of 17. In Methven and Rakaya, a low of 8 and a high of 17. Darfield, Leeston and Ralston, slightly cooler day expected, a high of 16 and a low of 8. And Lincoln, cloudy all day with a high of 16 and a low of 8. Much the same in Akaroa, a high of 16 and a low of 8. Expect cloud all day. Getting warmer as we head towards the Waimakariri, Kaipoi and Rangiora, a high of 17 and a low of 8. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot have the high of 18 and a low of 8. Looking ahead for Canterbury though, cold southwesterlies freshening on Saturday with cloudy skies. Some drizzle expected, all rain developing by the afternoon. Cloudy and cool on Sunday with drizzle patches and light southwesterly winds. Cloudy on Monday with northeasterlies freshening and rain developing late in the day. And cloudy with periods of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, and moderate to cool southwesterly winds. And that's your Thursday weather. Have a delightful evening.
And that's CTV News for Thursday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.